Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. I'm here at the shop on a Sunday evening, which never happens, but the stars aligned and Steven had a gig where he had to shred out of town, and so I'm covering the shop today. So I thought, hey, why don't I make a video? So I thought I'd go through the shop and find some cheap heat. Everybody's asking, they're talking about, you got these rare records that you're always talking about, but nobody wants to spend that much money for records. How about some cheap heat? So I'm gonna go through the $5 section, and I have a little cheap heat section over here, and find some records that I think are a good bang for the buck. So let's see what I dig up. So this is our $5 section right here. When you come in, we do a lot of $5 stuff. So, like if you come in the shop, this fresh $5 specials, that's the stuff we just put out. Once it's, we don't have like a time that we keep stuff in here. But usually when it starts filling up, we'll divide it out, and we've actually alphabetized it. So, stuff that's like your $5 standards, like Doobie Brothers, Elton John, Jethro Tull, stuff like that. We have that stuff just out, and so if anybody's like, hey, you have this, we know where it's at. And then our budget diggers they know where to look. So, and then also, like, this is stuff that's usually like $15 or less, this section right here. Generally, you got some great stuff. Mandrill, just really nice copy of that. This one's like mint. But yeah, you got, Thriller, stuff like that. But so it's like $5 and then between $5 and $20. And then a lot of this stuff is like 15 and up type stuff in the front. People have been shopping today and they haven't been pushing up the bins, dang it! So kind of before I get started, the way our shop works, we get so many collections in that even some things that might be worth more than $5, we still will put in the $5 bin. If we have like tons and tons and tons of copies already, my whole business model pretty much is fast nickels are better than slow dimes. It don't serve me very well to hold on to something just because I want to get a couple dollars more. So some of the stuff that I'm going to show you is probably worth more than $5, but for us, we get a lot of this in, so we try to get it out as fast as we can. So you'll see what I'm talking about. Like James Gang, Straight Shooter. This is a great record. I haven't looked these up on Discogs. I don't know, but we have 3 of these right now, $5, and any James Gang record is worth $5. Yeah, I love James Gang, and they're always like $5 records. This is one that should be more than $5, but it's not. This is a straight across the board $5 special. This is Traffic. Welcome to the Canteen. This is an absolute killer jam band, jam rock, just blues rock type of just fury. It's great. I love this record. Recommend it all the time. Anytime we have it playing in the shop, it gets sold. And it's almost always $5. In our shop, we always put it for $5. So it's one of those. I probably on Discogs, it's probably $5 as well. This one, West, Bruce, and Lang. So you got Leslie West, and Corey Lang and Jack Bruce from. So Corey Lang was in Mountain. Jack Bruce was from Cream. But this is just these 3 just jamming, ripping it up. Leslie West, all the Mountain records are cheap. Any of those records, like they're usually under $10, And Leslie West's self-titled records are usually pretty cheap too. That is some absolutely outstanding shredding, and it's cheap. It's always cheap. So if you don't have those records, like I know I always am talking about all these mega rare records, but it's good to kind of talk a little bit about some cheap ones too that are good. They're cheap because they were so good that everybody used to buy them, and then now they're everywhere, and the appreciation might not have caught up. This Golden Earring, Moontan, this is the U.S. I think this is a reissue, but these are always $5 in here. Great stuff. Radar Love, one of the greatest classic rock songs who ever lived. Robin Trower, can't understand for the life of me why his records are $5, but they always are. I mean, some of his records are worth a little bit more, but the really good ones are usually right in the $5 section. I've got a handful of Trower records in there already, but if you like guitar shredding, Robin Trower, $5, you can't beat it. And I would venture to say any record store worth its salt has some $5 Robin Trower records. We have them all the time. We always have tons. 10 years after, any 10 years after, it's worth $5, and it's worth a listen. Really killer stuff. Another one is, now this one you guys might be like, what? But we have Manassas out there. So, and to prove, yeah, it's $5, and this is not a bad copy. So this is kind of goes to what I was saying before. I put these out forever for $12.99. That's about what the Discogs median's close to. I think it's like 15. Some of them are 20. But this is Manassas, Stephen Stills, and a bunch of, who's. This is an absolutely killer double LP. And we get so many of these in, and people don't really buy them. I don't really know why. So they started stacking up like for $12.99 back there. And so I started marketing them at $9.99. And they still kind of pile up back there. People don't buy them. And so we started putting $5 on them. And so now, like, when all the $5 ones sell, we probably have some $10 ones back there still. But at any rate, it's always cheap. And, I'm not going to continue to price them out for $12.99 if they're not selling. I'll price them low until they go. But this is one that's not too hard to find. It's a double LP. It is an absolutely outstanding record. And for the time being, we got them for $5. We get them all the time. Robbie Robertson, this is another one that should be worth more. Really fantastic post-band record. Quicksilver, a lot of Quicksilver records are $5. I really enjoy them. It's got great artwork and fantastic psychedelic rock. This is probably, if I had to make a Mount Rushmore of $5 hollers, this would be up there. Mahogany Rush Live, Frank Marino. Man, if you like Stevie Ray Vaughan, this is like, pre-Stevie Ray Vaughan, obviously, but Mahogany Rush was had a couple really good psychedelic records, but this is just like straightforward blues rock, and it is live, and it is just insane. Like, if I had to compare it to somebody, it would be a lot like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Not quite as fast-paced, but man, I heard this for the first time in high school. I was actually digging at a thrift store, and this guy that was digging with me, this old guy, he's like, dude, do you have this? I was like, no, what is it? He's like, just buy it and thank me later. And I did. I got it for $1, and it was great. This is another one that isn't always $5, but it's always cheap. We started putting them at $5 because I've not been selling. Blows Against the Empire. This is Jefferson Starship, actually. This is Paul Kantner. Well, it's Paul Kantner. I think it's billed as Paul Kantner, but it says, Jefferson Starship's down here. But this is, a lot of who's of great musicianry. But Jerry Garcia plays on this. It's a very, very good record, and it's always really cheap. Always kind of blows me away how cheap it is. This one's just stupid. Lighthouse, One Fine Morning. So the UK Vertigo of this, I have a copy, the UK Vertigo, and they're like hundreds of dollars. Crazy, stupid price. But these are always like $5. They're on this like Evolution label. A lot of things on that label are really good, and they're always really cheap. So this is the U.S. pressing, and they're always really cheap. But it is mind-bending, out there prog. It's insane, out of this world stuff. Highly recommend it. It's great, and it's usually about $5. This is another one. Phil Keggy. Phil Keggy, great guitar player. He played a bunch of Christian rock. He played in Glass Harp. Really, really talented guitar player. Fantastic. If you Google just like some Phil Keggy shredding, I think he's missing a finger too. Anyways, yeah, great guitar player. Another one, JoJo Gunn. Just good, old-fashioned, down and dirty rock and roll. You got to have it. Odds of March. A lot of Odds of March records are pretty cheap. Really good in like the blues rock, psychedelic. Not really psychedelic, but really good stuff. Steve Hillage, the guitar player from Gong. We had 3 of these over there. 3 of these. But if you like that psychedelic, progadelic, crazy guitar out there, Steve Hillage records, he has a couple, and they're always like really cheap. A couple that are cheap. Some of them are more. Oh, look, here's another golden earring. I pulled 2. Man, this is a good one. There's another one. Can't believe it. Lowell George, or Lowell George. I always call him Lowell George, but thanks. I'll eat it here. This is he's from Little Feat, as you know. This was released. Man, unbelievable solo record. Really, really killer stuff. This is one of the. I mean, and you don't hear many people talk about how incredible of a musician he was, but man, he was unbelievable, man. Gone Too Young. Very, very good stuff. If you like Little Feat, I love Little Feat. Love that record. Another one's Fog Hat. You know, just good old fashioned 70s, down and dirty. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Brain Salad Surgery, another great record. This one's $5 because it's in really good shape. A lot of times we put them in a dollar bin. They just don't sell. And it's got this interactive artwork that you open it up. It's beautiful. Really great record. Another one's Detective. This band was on Swan Song. And yeah, Jimmy Page loved this band. It's fantastic. Just rock and roll. If you like Zeppelin, I would definitely check them out. Larry Coryell, a lot of his records, like I know we had one in the $6.99 area over here. A lot of his records are really cheap. I mean, rule of thumb, anything with Larry Coryell on it, if you see it cheap, grab it. It is, he's one of the best guitar players that's ever lived. Another one is Badger. Badger has several really good records. This one, we almost always have a copy. $5. You know, look at these guys. But really, really, really great stuff. Just hard rock. Black Oak, Arkansas. This is no secret. All their records are always really cheap, and they were one of the biggest bands of the 70s. Really great 70s rock. Dickie Betts from the Allman Brothers. This is a great one. And then Highway Call. This one's really, really, really great. I love this record. And I just got like a perfect promo copy with the poster and everything. And it's a $5 record. It's one of those things, but I always am chasing a perfect copy. This Bad Company, this is like a VG copy. These are usually like 10 or 12 now. They were $5 for a long time. They've kind of gone up a little bit, but a lot of Bad Company's catalog is still $3 to $5. You know what I mean? But man, I'd really love this album. It is near and dear to me. Randy Newman, Little Criminals. This is a good record. I mean, if you're a big Eagles fan, you probably know that the Eagles are the backing band for this record. But yeah, solid record. Definitely good for $5. There's a lot of psychedelic stuff that we put out for cheap. Like this one's not a bad copy of this. It's probably like a VG wear on the outside type thing. But we had several of these over there for $10. So I was like, we'll throw some out for $5. ARS Nova. Yeah, really good psych for $5. Why not? And this isn't like an advertisement to come rate our $5 bin. I'm just saying, like, these are cheap records that you might see out for $5. And if you are getting into the hobby and you want something cheap, these are good ones to get. This one, I have no idea what this is. But what we do here is, so there's there's a lot of things, like a lot of indie records that got sold, like got made between like 2018, 19 into like now. And these indie records were getting made, and they were making too many albums, and people didn't even know who they were. So some of them got sold to, there were all these like scammy vinyl subscription services, and then they would like, you'd pay them $30 a month and you get 2 records or whatever. And then they would just send these out to everybody, and there'd be these no-name bands that nobody has any idea who they are. And then, so anyways, all the time people bring Crater records in of new modern records. Usually when I open the shop, if it was modern records, I'd be all over it, like, oh yeah. But now it's just like, oh man, because the stuff, it's not that it's bad music, it's that no one knows what it is, so nobody's going to buy it if they don't know what it is. So if we get a modern record like this, I have no idea what this is. But it looks cool, and it's probably good. We put it out for $5. It has, like, most of them have no sales history on Discogs. So we just say, hey, have fun, blind buy it for $5. We got a ton of that in our $5 section, just like modern, mystery stuff. This is, I think we had a couple of these over there. This one is the White Rabbit, George Benson. It's got Air 2, Ron Carter, Herbie Hancock. I mean, just look at this. Look at the lineup. But all these CTI records, like some of them are really cheap, but they're always good, even if they're cheap. This one's great. We got 2 of these over there. I couldn't believe we had 2. It's killer. And this is another George Benson, Good King Bad. Yeah, anything on that CTI label, you get it cheap, they're always good. Another band that seems to always, well, they don't always go in the $5 bin, but Spooky Tooth, they don't really go for a whole lot of money. Their first record goes for more, like especially if it's a UK. And then they had, the art record, it goes for a lot. But anyways, Spooky Tooth, really good blues rock, tinge of psychedelia. And then here's another Spooky Tooth that was over there, but we have Spooky Tooth very, very, very regularly, and it's always cheap stuff. And then here's one, The Live Adventures of Mike Bloomfield and Al Kooper. Mike Bloomfield and Al Kooper are some of the greatest guitar players who's ever lived. This is a double LP. It's always cheap. And this is, if you like live, like shredding blues rock type stuff, this is an incredible record. And like I said, it's almost always cheap. So it's funny. Our $5 bin's not really especially good right now. It's just kind of average. And we have some stuff over there. So I just thought I'd go through it and show you guys just a few that I would recommend picking up if you see. But, a lot of fun can be had with record collecting if you're blind buying stuff. But there's also some things to look for that, certain labels and names. There's a ton of records that have Mike Bloomfield on it and that are killer records, and they're not really worth a whole lot of money. So the reason why things like that aren't worth that much money is because they made thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of them in the 70s, and their popularity hasn't really caught up to now, I guess. They haven't been like carved in the stones of time like Hendrix or Janis Joplin or whoever. Like there's these really big names that, you go to Myrtle Beach and there's murals everywhere, whatever, and some of these, there's not going to be a lot of murals of Mike Bloomfield, but those are some good ones. I wanted to show you, I haven't done a video from the shop for a while, so I wanted to give you guys an updated $5 hauler video. But there's always good Santana. Like most Santana records are $5, not the first couple are usually a little bit more if they're in good shape, but you know what I mean. But yeah, we if you're in the area, come check out our $5 section. I would say our $5 section, I will put it up against any $5 section in the country. Screw it, in the world-class $5 section. No, but we really try to move a lot of records, especially the cheap stuff, because it's if I can, like these records, if I get them in a collection and I can sell them for $5 each, like I'm happy, because it's not the stuff when you're selling a collection, somebody's bringing in a collection, they're wanting top dollar for the big names, the Beatles, the Elvis, and blah, blah, blah. So a lot of this stuff, they don't really care that much. So by the time we get it and clean it and all that stuff, if we can turn it over for $5, we're happy, you're happy. Yeah, if you're digging, come by and grab some stuff. I'll show you really quick just a view around the shop. I know I've done a tour probably last year. I'll do just a little spin around the shop. So this is our t-shirt and merch section. We've changed this up just a little bit. We added a buffalo recently. Love that guy. We did a pretty big drop, so we couldn't put everything in the new arrival section, so we had to bump it out to some tables. That was this weekend. I already showed you that. I already showed you the $5 section. We got the Holy Moly Wall. Always have some good stuff on here. Here is the classic rock section, and it goes all the way around. We got some like 45 digging over here, and then that's rock all the way down as well until like here, and then you got some psych, and then this is all metal stuff. That's punk, more punk. Somebody dumped this in the wrong place. That's my pet peeve, y'all. Throw that over there. But anyways, blues, and then all this stuff is new. So this side you got classic rock, jazz. This is all hip-hop, and this is like modern used stuff. In the back here, we got some t-shirts. It's kind of a mess back here. But this is my world-class record cleaner, my KL Audio record cleaner that we love so much. There's Buck Owens right there. This is our box sets. And then, like, Over here we have our audio file. Like, this is our world section, and then we have like our audio file stuff. So this is pretty much all Analog Productions stock. We get wholesale from them and love that. And then, you know, you got that. We stopped doing the listening station. Probably going to remove this because we literally had to replace the needle every 2 days because people don't know how to use turntables and treat places with respect. But anyways, got a lot of good artwork, a lot of cool stuff. So there you go. All right, guys, there you have it. Thanks for coming along. Happy digging. Hope you guys are getting some good finds out there. Hope you're still having fun with it. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.